Hello and happy Monday, YouTube. You're tuned in to the Katie Talk 101 show. All right, so I am following the updates on the ISIS situation. So as you guys know, I did the recap of the interview she had with Highly Initiated, and now I'm not for sure if you guys know, but ISIS' estranged husband, his niece actually came out about some things with ISIS, and she actually did a sit down interview with this YouTuber. Let me see what his name is first. Hold on. And shout out to the YouTuber. So I'm going to do a recap of the interview today that she did. And I hope you all are enjoying your Monday and having a great Monday. All right, so this is a clip from TikTok, and this is initially showing when the niece came out. And if I'm not mistaken, it was about probably 3 weeks ago. So let's listen to the niece and see what she has to say about the whole situation. You guys make sure you hit the like button when you come in, please, and thank you.
Like what mother uses this platform to sit up there and say my babies have been or my babies have been touched, excuse me, and then sit over there and then try to put a GoFundMe page up. Do you know why she's putting that GoFundMe page up? Because my uncle has had enough.
All right. And so if you guys remember her talking about the GoFundMe page when she was on the interview with Hardly Initiated, sorry. When she was on the platform with them, she mentioned that she thinks people are being weird and it's something that's stopping her from getting her GoFundMe. So I have the interview here. We're gonna watch it together, actually. Hey, what's up, Natasha? Shout out to Natasha in the chat room. And shout out to this gentleman. Let me see what his okay, so the name of his page is I think House of Hypocrites. So that's House of Hypocrites. He is on YouTube. If you guys most definitely want to support him, go and shout that brother out and tell him Katie Talk sent ya. Okay, so I'm gonna get off into the interview. Let me make sure I'm sharing everything. Make sure I'm sharing it, and we're gonna get off into what's going on because she dropped some tea in this interview. She really dropped some tea here. Isis said it was all the devil blocking her GoFundMe. Dang, they be putting too much in the devil's hands, don't they? She said it was the devil blocking the GoFundMe. Girl, you silly. Okay, so this is the niece. This is the niece of the husband. So let's hear what she got to say. And shout out to House of Hypocrites for let me break this down. And this is fair use. Here we go.
Her grandmother ended up putting her out because she was leaving her kids, her two boys, with her grandmother for weeks at a time. He has never, not once, in all of my 34 years of living, never shown me any signs that he wanted to touch me in any kind of way. Mm-hmm. He never acted on any kind of, funny behavior or anything like that.
Would you say no? It's easy for women to take advantage of him?
Yes.
Well, was he aware of this particular content?
Well, he knows about it now.
She said they got married within a week. Was that true?
She wasn't living with an ex-boyfriend before she moved in with my uncle. She was living in her car with her two boys. It is medically proven that she has mental illness.
Hold on, let me press pause on that statement. So the niece, and this is the very beginning, only 44 seconds into the video. She said that Isis was lying about living with, because if you guys remember, she said she was living with a boyfriend and the lease was almost up. So the niece is saying that that was a lie. So she was actually living in a car with her two boys right before she met the husband. Okay, let's finish listening.
Yeah, because she bought the rings. She bought the rings to propose to him. That she had a breakdown one day. And
oh, you watched it too, Natasha. Yeah, the niece. sounds very she don't seem like she's trying to manipulate people through her voice, or she sound like she's honest to me.
She admitted that her mother framed her dad when they were younger, saying that her dad touched them to get full custody of her and her sisters.
She come from a family of women that does this to men. So he is allowed to see his kids.
He is. He is.
So if he's allowed to see his kids, there is no evidence that he done anything to his babies.
It's nothing yet. Nothing yet. And at this point, they're looking into her and her son as well. And she wasn't supposed to say anything about the case until it was completely over. Like that's criminal charges that my uncle can put against her. And he said that it's been plenty of times where she's left them at the house by themselves.
Exactly. And that'll be the first thing they're gonna say. Oh, she's just jealous. She's ugly. She's jealous of the trophy. Like, girl, they think everything is about looks. That's their problem. Cause it looked like they good looks got them going through the most.
That's why she go out and shop or go get marijuana or whatever. They have a record where the kids missed 45 days of school. Been like you've heard.
Oh my God, 45 days. That is ridiculous.
This man to his core, because I know for a fact that when he got these kids, he was overjoyed. And right now, I can't even really have phone conversations with him because of the hurt that I feel that he has in his voice. And so she ended up getting violent with him, trying to put hands on him. She hit him about 4 or 5 times. So once she found out about the divorce, that's when she pretty much went for the jugular. Because now her second son's dad is trying to get custody of him, because this is not the first time that he's heard about his son being touched by her older son. Like, he is burning him up.
Oh, wow. So she's saying that not the youngest boy, but the next to the youngest boy, his dad is actually trying to get custody because allegedly the oldest son has been doing things to him. Wow.
In the inside to know that she's out there making him look this bad, but I just want her to come clean and finally say, like, this did not happen.
So in this interview, we discussing the new trophy wife, Isis Morale, or AKA Paloma Dowdy, when her story went super viral about her marrying a monster. So she spoke on her husband being a monster, which I had an inkling that something wasn't right. And I just did this interview with the niece of her husband. And you see within the intro, it is a lot of things that she is covering that she has talking to her uncle with to give to me to let everybody know that when it's time and he have his kids, he gonna speak on it. But let's get into the interview. Y'all know I'm
All right, so it's looking like once all the court case is over with, Isis' husband could perhaps sit down and interview with maybe a lucky YouTuber. Let's get off into the interview and see what's going on.
demonetized on my House of Hypocrites page. Hey, show some love to the Cash App. And if you can't, just like, comment, and subscribe on this page. Appreciate you.
Hello everyone. I'm Dearica Dowdy. I'm the oldest niece of the trophy wife's husband. We have, the family in general have been following all of the videos and everything that she has been putting out against him. And
hey, shout out to the chat room. Shout out to G Baby. Shout out to Natasha. That's a good question too. Natasha said, what I don't understand is how are you going to leave your babies in the house with siblings who are touching them? And this is what I don't understand either. Do you guys remember when the therapist, Dr. Spirit, was talking to Isis and she said, hey, most predators are not just adults. Sometimes they are other kids. So I hope y'all remember when she pointed that out.
And I know a lot of people say, well, why would we listen to y'all or whatever? But it's at this point, just think about the fact that he is, like he said, an older man who doesn't really know about TikTok or anything like that. He let the younger people deal with that. This is a man that sits in the house and reads the Bible and, you know, likes to do just random older guy stuff. Like, he's really not a person that goes out like we do. So me being the oldest niece and me being the only one that has the right at this point to do this, because everybody else either has a job that stops them from being able to speak on this platform, or they have other things going on in life that stop them. So I work for myself. I can sit up here and speak on behalf of my family and my uncle because I love my family and I want to protect just like anybody else would. So, yeah, I put the videos out about Paloma because of the fact that I felt like she was definitely trying to get sympathy from everybody out here when it wasn't really necessary, or it wasn't something that was needed, because she really is not telling the truth on any of this stuff that she's saying. And it's hard for me as a mother to sit over here and listen to her make these allegations against someone who I personally know that has wanted kids forever, and then finally is able to have these kids and then have to go through something terrible like this is crazy to me. Because
I got a quick question.
uh-huh.
Sometimes we have family, but was the husband somebody that like you actually were close to, like
Yes.
actually are
Yes.
close to? Okay.
Yes. He pretty much was a very big part of my growing up. My dad was there, but when he was not, my uncle stepped in for us. He was the one that we wanted to hang out with. We wanted to go see all the time. Like, he was pretty much in the Navy, so he was deployed most of the time back and forth. So when he did come home, he made sure that we were his first priority. He made sure that, hey, I want to see my nieces and nephews.
I think those are actually some pretty good details that she's giving, especially looking at the fact that she said all the kids wanted to go hang out with him. As you guys know, I mean, in a lot of families, there are predatory, like uncles and even aunties, and no one really ever wants to go to their house. So it don't sound like they were like, "Hey guys, we're going over to Uncle OJ house," and they're like, "No, I don't want to go." Now that's when you really need to pay attention when it comes to situations like that. Are kids acting combative when it comes to going over their house? So those are some really good valid details, I think.
I want to spend time with them because he didn't get that time like everybody else.
That's important. Okay, let me see.
But he's never, and one of the things that I do want to clear up that a lot of people were saying in the comments.
Oh, G Baby, his page is called House of Hypocrites. So if you pull that up, House of Hypocrites, new trophy wife, husband, niece. Yeah, it's right up under there. It's not a real super long interview. It ain't, nothing that you'll get like tired, like, oh, this is long. It's really good interview. Not a lot of it's not a lot of riffraff. It's just straight to the point, and it actually sounds believable. Just my opinion.
He has never, not once, in all of my 34 years of living, never shown me any signs that he wanted to touch me in any kind of way. He never acted on any kind of, funny behavior or anything like that. Like, no. And I'm not trying to put too much business out there, but I know certain family members that have had those traits, and it's easier to pick up on, versus with him, he's never given that at all. He's always been a nurturer. He's always been a mama's boy. Like, he would never do anything that he didn't feel like was right. He's that one, how you always have that group of friends, right? And you got that one friend that is always sticking to the rules no matter what. Like he's not gonna drink, he's not gonna smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sticking to the rules. Like if my mama find out I did this, like it's gonna be consequences. Like that's
And you know what? When it comes to a lot of those women that listen to the sprinkle lady, when it comes to those women, they target guys like that. Those straight edge, quote unquote square type of guys. Those are the men that the women target. Those men who are kind of up in age, they're really square. They do things by the book because at the end of the day, those are the men who usually end up being successful. And the sprinkle lady tell the women to get on guys like that because those are the men you can get with and dig in their pockets.
the type of person.
Would you say, since he seems like he had a lot of character and merit and has some type of morals and standards, would you say, since he's this nice guy, because it sounds like he a nice guy, like, would you say it's easy for women to take advantage of him?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was he aware of this particular content that she was making about how you get an older man, how you try to get a man to take care of her? Or was it like, what was this persona that she was trying to put out? Is that something he was aware of, or is it something he came to know, or do he even know about it at all?
Well, he knows about it now because
See, and that's the thing right there. She was in her living room doing commentary, basically just telling women how they could get a trick like her. That's basically what she was doing. And that man, he not up on the internet kind of stuff. He not up on that. And he didn't know, he probably didn't know what type of commentary that woman had going. And he didn't even think like this woman is just telling people how they can get a simp like me to take care of them and their kids. And she done made a whole channel talking about how I went from a single mom to a trophy wife in less than 6 months. No, you went from a single mother, and you ended up finding you a simp who you could, drain. So, that's basically what happened right there.
The information with him just to help with the case and, help him, prove to them that she's been putting this stuff out there. But for him, he said that she was saying that it was a lifestyle content. She wasn't making it seem like she was doing gold digging content or, how to trap a man to get him to do what you want type deal.
So he wasn't even controlling enough. He wasn't as controlling as she tried to make it seem, because if he was, he would have knew the type of content she'd been making for what? How many years has she been making this type of content?
She said about 5.
Okay, so he wasn't even controlling enough to even go dig into what she was doing in her own personal life pertaining to this content. So I think most men, if he would have knew about this, I don't think he would have acted so fast, because I see that she said they had got married within a week, but it seems like they knew each other longer, because she was explaining the situation about I guess the man before her, and how I guess things weren't working out because the oldest son. He said the oldest son might have had some bad behavior that he didn't agree with the previous boyfriend, and he wanted that the oldest son to maybe go stay with a relative. So it seems like, I don't know, did they know each other before that week, or like how did that work?
The thing that he told me is that they had been talking over the internet. The thing that the family, like when we first found out about her and all of this, they were talking over the internet, and this is the killer part, because she never told anybody, or she hasn't said this part to any of the interviews or anything that she's done, but she was living with her grandmother before they met, and they were talking on.
Oh, so she was not living with a man before she met her husband, Interesting.
On the internet and all of that, her grandmother ended up putting her out because she was leaving her kids, her two boys, with her grandmother for weeks at a time, just to go and do whatever with different men or so forth. And then she would come back, and when that last time she came back, her grandma put her out, which put her in living in her car. So when she said that she was living with an ex-boyfriend, she wasn't living with an ex-boyfriend before she moved in with my uncle. She was living in her car with her two boys. She put the narrative out there like she was moving out of one relationship into another, when that had happened way before the situation with her and my uncle.
Wow. So
Yes.
she a
met my uncle,
pathological liar.
found her. Yeah. Oh, she has proof, or it's you can look it up for all those people that like to look up information, and you can too. It is medically proven that she has mental illness. And then I just found.
And you know what? That is not shocking to me, because when I was just sitting up there looking at her in that highly initiated interview, she seemed like she's a bit off. It just seemed like something was off. And that's not challenging her story or what happened to her daughter or nothing, but to me, I noticed, and I mentioned it when I was doing the recap of the interview. I was like, something just seemed off about her.
Found out recently, with everybody doing their research, and then me going back doing family research, that her son is mentally ill as well, because she was doing drugs while she was pregnant with her firstborn. So
how old is the firstborn son?
I think he is 10.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 10, and
so
I think
he old enough to know.
7.
He old enough to know a little bit better. Sometimes we believe that our kids have these mental challenges, but it be the parenting that isn't putting this putting into them the love, the raising them, teaching them things. So when they go get evaluated, they be so far behind. We think our kids have autism or have some type of thing. If you
Now he has a good point. Because I believe the lack of nurturing from a mom, I believe that can cause some unstableness in the child mind. He got a good point.
saying she will leave the babies 2-3 weeks on time with the grandmother, she was an addict while having the baby, yeah, that could most definitely see signs of like some type of mental issues. But if you're neglecting your child, you're not raising your child, of course it's gonna have challenges. So that's a reflection of how she is a parent. And then
So she used to leave her two youngest sons at her grandmother house for weeks on end. That's crazy. And on camera, I mean, she come across like she's just the best mom.
when she did say, "Oh, after a week I was married," that is still in a reflection of your parenting skills, because you don't know this man. Well, we presume you don't know this man, right? And you say you going after a week you go get married. You was in a financial hardship, and you knew a man to take care of you, and that's all it was. That's all it was. So
yeah, because she bought the rings. She bought the rings to propose to him.
Now that's what tripped me out. And to be honest, when Shira 7 responded to Isis, that's why she called her desperate. You married this man within months. You brought the rings. And that was just given desperate.
So she bought the rings with the child support money and the money that she was getting from other men. And then you sit over there, and this man already tells you, like, I'm a godly man. Like, I'm not gonna shack up with no woman without, being married.
See, and that's what it was. Buying those rings for him, buying that ring for him was an investment to her. That was an investment. It really was. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie on Tubi called Secret Society, about the two trends who they were just on a journey and they were living their life, having fun and all this. But I remember a scene when they were in the club and they seen these two guys, real nice looking guys. They were sitting in VIP and this and that. And she brought like a $350 bottle and sent it to those guys' table. And her homegirl was like, "What are you doing? You out here buying bottles for guys? We don't do that." And the girl was like, no, this is the investment. Just sit back. Just sit back. But come to find out, those guys, they had some money. They were like some ballers and whatnot. You guys need to just see that movie. That's a good movie. But basically, ISIS buying those wedding rings was an investment.
So you say, okay, I'm going to go get the ring so you can, so we can get married and I can have a place to stay with my 2 boys.
So that's why she still had that one ring. She still has that one ring on when she recorded the video in her videos, because she actually bought those herself. So it wasn't any.
So her initiating everything and buying those rings, that was an investment for her kids to have a place to lay their head.
Anything sentimental that he gave her, it's some shit she bought.
Right. And this is a history in her family. This is what her and her family does. It's been said before that her sisters and them look for high value men so that they can get the money off of them, and then or have babies with them so that they feel like they can reel them in long term. Now, I have another nugget for you, but I'm gonna let you get the rest of your questions out before I tell you.
Go ahead. We good. We good. Just do your thing. We flowing. Do your thing. Because I ain't got too much. Everything else is just gonna go from memory.
Okay, so I was told by a very close family member that was a very big part of their household because of the cleanliness and the taking care of the kids that she was doing, was not doing. That she had a breakdown one day and she admitted that her mother framed her dad when they were younger, saying that her dad touched them to get full custody of her and her sisters.
So,
oh wow! So she is playing a page from the playbook from her mother. Interesting, very interesting.
She repeating the same thing she was taught. Well, not taught, but she heard her mom did. Damn. It's a scandalous game, and people will say, well, why would she lie, man? Why would anybody lie, man? People have lied over the most simplest things to the most things that got people's lives taken. You feel me?
Right.
A woman or a man will lie, even if it involves their children, especially if they're trying to one up on somebody else. It's like, it's not far-fetched. And then if you got some type of discernment, if you just got some type of skepticism where you can just look at somebody and say, man, something ain't right. And I've seen it. I'm like, man, ain't no way.
And you know what? I seen it from the jump. And I can remember that very first video I did when this situation first happened. I was looking at the whole situation and just everything involved, everything that was said, and I was just like, something ain't sitting right. And it's just like when people see it and they call it out, people like, oh, you hate her, oh, you jealous, oh, you're victim blaming. Like, no, I see something and I'm gonna say something.
Way you about to get glammed up, fake ass tears, you got a ring on your finger, all this, and then you chopping it up, full production, and you putting a story out about your babies. If God forbid anything happens to kids, if I had any, I would not broadcast it to the world to say this what happened to my babies.
No,
but man, no. I'll be in jail. Come on, bro.
Exactly. Listen, that's why I said I'm not gonna be sitting over there trying to preserve my tears or none of that. Like, everybody thought I was trying to be rude about that, but I'm not being rude. I'm just saying, if you have a kid and being a mother and somebody touch your kid, you're not gonna care about trying to preserve your makeup and make it look all fancy. Like,
not at all. I can remember living in the projects, and I remember there was a story about this guy that did something to this girl kid. And now I don't know exactly what he did, but it was something. Man, when I say in the middle of that alley, they beat the brakes off of that man. Now, I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if the girl went to the police. I'm not for sure. But they beat the brakes off of that man. I can remember coming out of my apartment, walking to my car, and right here in the middle of the alley where all the cars come and go, they were in the middle of the alley, like 3-4 guys just beating the mess out of him. And I'm like, what happened? And they was like, oh, he did something to the girl, baby. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, he needed that butt whooping.
I'm gonna let it show. Like I'm gonna bawl, boo-hoo, cry. My makeup messed up or whatever. Like I'm gonna be real about it. I'm not gonna be sitting over here and for damn excuse me, but I'm not
Good.
gonna sit up here and put my kids out there and say, oh, he did this to my kids for people to go look them up like they did. And now look, my cousins are on the internet with their
On the
faces out.
internet.
Like they have videos with faces out. Like they can. So now people going to look for these kids, and you're not
And
even
she's right
aware.
about that. I think it's really wrong for you to put that story out about your kids, and you could go over there, and I'm pretty sure she got rid of the pictures, but people screenshot. But you could go over on her community tab on YouTube and see all the pictures of the kids, the newborn, the kids who got violated. You can see all the kids on there. And then I go and look on TikTok when I'm looking up information about her, and I'm seeing people that have this woman kids on the screen. I'm like, man, why are you putting the kids' faces out here? Like, that's just not right. And then you have sickos out here who will intentionally go and look these pictures up and try to, I mean, be on some sick stuff looking at these girls. It's crazy that you put this story out there. I hate that she did that to her daughters.
Of this stuff because you just sitting over there trying to get a GoFundMe or likes and whatnot.
Yeah, I seen everything. I seen everything, but I had to respect enough. Like, I'm not about to put these babies on the internet. Some people don't care, but she opened her life up to people to go dive in. People like me, most people ain't gonna have no goddamn what you call the ethics behind this shit when it comes to
right
not putting out certain information. It's one
Thank
person.
you. That's so true. Because a lot of people don't have ethics. They're not going to think, oh, man, let me blur out this baby face. Matter of fact, let me find another picture that don't have the baby in here. Let me scribble out the baby face. A lot of people don't have ethics like that. They will go for kids. They will go for, man, it's some sick people out here on this internet. That's why I don't want my kids nowhere involved. Even though my kids are bigger, I still don't post a lot of pictures of my kids. Probably when it's a birthday or we're out on a vacation once, twice a year, whatever. I don't post my kids like that.
On the internet, that person is doing too much. Like, man, get a baby some respect. But I don't understand why look, she did that 2-hour interview with Hardlyinitiated and tried to cry the entire 2 hours. I sped the video up 2 times and I'm still hearing but she was cracking. She was cracking her character when they challenged her with hard questions.
Oh, sir, thank you for clocking it. Because she really cracked her character when Dr. Spirit told her she need to just turn into black and fade off the internet. She said, well, all those people that's telling me to fade away, cut me a check. Oh, it's all about the money. But you saying God used you and your daughters are sacrificial lambs. Honey, it's all about the money. That's all it's about to you. You feel like you have to sacrifice your daughters in order to get revenue because you have no other source of income. I like this interview right here because I feel like they clocking her.
So yeah, this she good, but she ain't that goddamn good. She come from a family of women that does this to men. Like she got practice from the shit. Like this is it's wild. So with the protective order, is that because I seen that it's been canceled and thrown out probably like a few weeks ago. But she went on there and said she still have a protective order. How is that working? Is he able to see the kids, or is she keeping away from him, or did she try to get a new one?
She's still keeping the kids away from him. She's also trying to find ways, or she tried to find ways to stop him from being able to pay child support so that she can keep up this facade that she was homeless and living out of the car, which she's not. She's still living in the house. And now she's having to be given the child support money by the lawyer because she's trying to block him from any way of sending it to her. So it'll look like he's not paying child support.
So he is allowed to see his kids.
He is.
So if he's allowed to see his kids, there is no evidence that he done anything to his babies.
It's nothing yet. Nothing
Yeah,
yet.
because that's what I was thinking. How is he still able to see these children? And it's been such a heinous allegation put against him about what he did to them. I don't know. This situation never personally happened to me as far as with my children, but as far as even I know that's their biological father, but if it's like factual that he did this to the daughter, so how is he? Let's just say, hey, ISIS is telling the complete truth. Why is he still able to see them kids? That's what I don't understand. I mean, this court system is jacked up because I feel like if there's any allegations done concerning kids, just to keep them safe, let's just go with it and say, hey, this really did happen. Why is the court still allowing him to be around the people who he victimized? I don't understand that. Somebody help me understand.
And at this point, they're looking into her and her son as well. Because this, with her putting all of this out there, and she wasn't supposed to say anything about the case until it was completely over. Like that's criminal charges that my uncle can put against her.
And I was saying that too. There's still an active investigation going on. What she doing is not in her children's favor or her favor at all. Especially if what she's saying is true. That everything that she's doing is not in the favor of her children. And I feel like she not taking that into consideration.
And the fact that he's trying to go for full custody of the kids because of the fact that he was saying when he was living in the house, the one thing that really made him want to get a divorce was the fact that she does not clean. She said that he found dirty diapers all over the house, in the closet, under the bed, all of that. She does not be at the house with the kids all the time. These are young kids that can't stay at the house.
So she keep a dirty house. You got dirty diapers under the beds and under couches. What? That's no trophy. Like I said yesterday, honey, she won no trophy. She was a whole certificate.
By themselves, even the 10-year-old. And he said that it's been plenty of times where she has left them at the house by themselves while she go out and shop or go get marijuana or whatever.
So she just neglect the kids entirely.
Yes, they have a record. They have a record where the kids missed 45 days of school.
Wow. She don't want
45 days is a lot of days. You break down the school year, it's 4 quarters of 9 weeks. 45 days? That means those kids missed at least a day every week of school. That is so neglectful. And that's the number one thing that can get your kids took. Them not going to school. That's the number one thing that will get DHS in your life about them kids if you're not sending them to school.
45 days.
You have to, something has to be wrong with you when you know you have all these documentations, but she's a little bit smart because she know we can't look up the cases that involving the children too much unless it's involving an adult. So now if you the adult and it's involving the children, then it might be a little bit sealed and the CPS protect that shit. But she has a pattern. She has a pattern from the grandmother house. She has a pattern from and from your uncle. You know, and when one thing I noticed. If you're going to accuse somebody, bitch, put a name on it. Not once in no interviews. Not once in no interviews have she said such and such did this. Put a name on it. Oh my husband.
Exactly.
Nah, if you did something wrong, like everybody that I didn't put on the internet, I'm saying your goddamn name. I got so much respect for even the scum that I won't even put your address and your phone number out there because I can find it. But
now he right about that. The fact that when she did the video, she didn't put out her husband's name. She was just very vague when she told the story. He got a point. He got a point.
If somebody does something to you, hey, put a name on it. Who is your husband? You feel me? That's how
Right.
I know this story ain't got no merit. You can't even your soul can't even allow you to lie like that. You lying,
Mhm.
but you ain't connecting that name to it because you know that man don't deserve that shit.
Exactly.
I don't fuck.
I think he's right about that because I noticed even in the interview when she was like describing when she met her husband, when they went out on a date and this and that and third, she was just sounding like she was still gushing over him in a sense. Like when she was saying, "Oh yeah," when he was like, what do you think about marriage? What would you think if we got married in 2 weeks?" And I entertained it, and I was like, I I could think about it, and he spit out his drink, and he started choking because he couldn't believe I said that. And in a sense, it sounded like Isis was still gushing up over her husband at certain points in the interview. I'm gonna have to pull it back up, but let me finish this.
And then you're
I don't.
still trying to
I seen it.
contact him and all of this other stuff, trying to still sneak your way in to see what you can get, and it's not gonna happen. Like you've hurt this man to his core because you think that, oh, he's gonna. The one thing that I heard her say before was he waited till he had his own kids to do this too. I don't know anybody that's gonna wait for years and years to have kids just to violate them. That makes
That don't make any sense to me either. You think a person will wait till they in their late 40s, almost 50, and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a woman pregnant. I'm gonna violate my children." No, somebody that's a predator, they've been having predator ways. People just don't wake up and start doing it.
no sense to me whatsoever.
Just to become a predator. Most people that are predatory or criminals or strippers or whatever. It's
Yeah.
when it's degeneracy, it's always a pattern from the past. You just don't be 40, 50 years old and try to go express some stuff that you ain't never done that's gonna bring up pain and hurt and harm to somebody. It's learned and then you exuding it throughout your lifetime. Why would he wait to have some kids if he was a goddamn predator? I
Yeah.
don't get it.
And that's the crazy part. I'm sorry about the background.
We good. We good. We straight.
But
I think.
but yeah, that was the crazy part to me because I remember a couple times growing up that me and my brother was like, dang, I can't wait until you have your own kids that you can tell what to do so you can leave us, you can stop pretending like you're our daddy. So I know for a fact that when he got these kids, he was overjoyed. And right now, just I can't even really have phone conversations with him because of the hurt that I feel that he has in his voice. Like I can tell that this man is not
drive
okay.
somebody to the grave, dog. That
Yeah.
heartbreakingness can drive somebody to the grave. And there's so many men that get accused of particular things, and the media just go with the narrative, right? And then they gotta face this stuff. You gotta spend.
But this is the thing because they always push believe the victim, believe always believe the victim, always believe the woman. That's why it's like that. So when these stories get put out, even if the story not true, the person that's telling it that probably know it's not true, they know that that man is still gonna be looked at in a bad light. That man is still gonna be looked at like, oh my God, that's the predator right there. So he out in public and people still looking at him like that, even if the court deems him to be innocent. People are still gonna look at that man like that's the man that got accused of doing that to his daughters.
Money
Yep.
to defend a lie. You know what I'm saying? You got to spend money to defend your name, your honor, and then it takes a toll on you, man. You don't know what sometimes people don't even want to be here because like, damn, are they gonna believe me? There's certain situations where evidence look like it was this a possibility that they may did this, but like, man, I hope the best for him and I hope everything on the internet that she didn't put on the internet that she tried to screw up, which everybody once it went viral, everybody on the internet got a video of something that does not look right, and I was one of them. I was one of them people to call it out. I was one of the people to call. I said, man, something ain't right with this woman, man. Can't do it.
Just like the video that they have up where they hear him and her and the baby in the background, and the baby is saying ow. Like he was like, I was trying to help them get, put their clothes and stuff on for bed because she, didn't have them ready when I got home from work. So I had to go up.
And that's insane. I gotta comment on that part, because if you are a housewife, you are a full-time homemaker, you're at home all day, why this man come home from work, the house dirty, they say his mom used to have to come over there and clean up, and the kids are not ready for bed. Like, what's the use of you being a homemaker? You just sitting at home all day talking about you a trophy wife. And right there where you're recording it, you make sure that area is clean, because that's where the camera gonna be, because you got that image to hold up.
There and do what she didn't want to, she didn't do. So it's kind of like
they try to flip that. I said,
yeah.
Don't try to flip some shit like that, because if this was never an accusation, none of y'all would even said nothing about that. So don't try to piece it together to make somebody look like a villain because you hear an ounce of something that you may seem abnormal. Nah, that's a kid, and she probably could see the goddamn child. So I wanted that. Yeah, I see it at a different lens, man. We just ain't about to just accuse people, and then your uncle got some responsibility on himself. You gotta vet these women, dog. You have to vet these women and be a little bit more selective on who you involve in your life and bring in your life, because shit like this will happen, man.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is help a woman move a woman in your house. Should have gave her
one of them lover men. You know, the men that just want to be in the just want a family so bad that they just take which one that comes to them. Like the best candidate they feel, but they don't see the red flags. Like that's him. Like, yes, it's been put out there that he's been married, that she was his fourth wife, and he's had some good women along the way. But at the same time, it's a growing process. Men will be men. Yeah. Men will still, okay, I got this one, but I see this one shaking a little leg, so I'm gonna go and entice that one. That's always been with him. Like, it's never been no off the wall profile, none of that stuff. It's always been like, okay, yeah, I'm an occasional. I got this one, but I see this one shaking a little leg, so I'm gonna go and entice that one.
It seemed like my internet trying to trip. I was trying to pause it when he said what he said. Oh, shout out to ABB. Shout out to AB. Let's see. I mean, her nose is big like Pinocchio's. LOL. Hey, but this is what I was trying to pause it and say, because this gentleman made a very good point. He a good interviewer too. When he said, "Man, I'ma just be real, yo, your uncle, he gotta own up to some accountability as well, because he chose her. He chose her." And that's the thing about a lot of these guys, and you can't look at it and say, oh, he haven't seen much, he don't have experience. Yes, that man has plenty of experience, because that was his fourth wife. So he got plenty of experience with women. That was the fourth woman he's been married to. This man not just out here as a middle-aged man just now getting his feet wet. Honey, you have some accountability too, uncle. She needs to be honest. Her uncle is a trick. Thank you. I bet he got a new devil woman right now. Thank you. And you know what, Natasha? That's what ISIS was saying in the interview. They say that allegedly the estranged husband is already on dating sites looking for new women as we speak. So she know her uncle a trick. You see how she described him? He was nerdy. He was in the Navy. He really never went out. Man, this guy is what they call a tender D guy. What? Shout out to Urban Lounge. He called these guys a beta male simp. That's what Urban call him, a beta male simp. That's exactly what he is. Yep. And I see right here, they call her marriage a fairy tale. That's exactly what she wanted, a fairy tale. And her delusion got her out here crazy, looking bad.
That's that's always been with him. Like, it's never been no off the wall profile, none of that stuff. It's always been like, okay, yeah, I'm an occasional man and I may, cheat. And that cost
Yeah.
him his relationships. But it never has been him putting his hands on women, him SDing any women, or him, doing anything crazy to anybody's kids.
Well, that's good to know. He's never done anything to anybody kids. And as far as the cheating thing goes, that's just stuff that men do. Not saying that we should accept it as women. You know how much you can take, but the cheating thing, a lot of men do that. I was in the Navy. Trust, her uncle had a woman all over the world. Yes, those people in the Navy, they do have women all over the world. And you know what? Even the married ones, because I heard the marriages in the army and the military and stuff. I heard those marriages are filled with drama, and they say everybody cheat that's in the military and the army. They say everybody cheat. That's just what I heard.
So
No,
that's the only
they had
reason,
asked
pretty
her a
much.
question. They had asked her a question. Have any other victims came up front? And I guess she said something about the ex-wife was so distraught that she didn't even want to speak. Where she get that from?
I don't think that that's true either, because none of his ex-wives would even talk to her, honestly. Like, and then
Yeah.
we're still close with, a couple of his wives, so they would never sit over there and put anything like this or be on her side with something like this with him. They will tell
And
you, yeah.
the story. I said, my bad. The story is so
Please don't.
big. If the story is so big, I know the ex-wives seen this shit. If it was an ounce of the truth, they would have been came out. They would have
Exactly.
been came out and said something and validated her claims. But
Now that's facts. That's facts, and I can honestly say I believe what that man is saying about that, because if that man did what ISIS say he did, it's been like a month or so now. There would have been somebody coming out, a family member, a cousin of the family, or just somebody, a friend of the family, coming out like, hey, I heard about what Isis' husband said. You know what? That man was always weird. He always looked at me in a certain way, or he had a look in his eye whenever I seen him see kids or whatnot, or oh my God, the daughter did used to act weird when I was over there. I mean, I haven't seen anybody come out and say anything. And even Isis said in the interview, she said, no, to this day, no one else has came out. Isis doing an interview, that was not in her favor at all. They're gonna use that as I don't know if Harley initiated or probably get some subpoenas in the mail from the court, but they're gonna use that video for some evidence. And it's not gonna be in Isis' favor either.
everybody don't have to come out in defense, but sometimes or offense and say, hey, this and that. That's not everybody lying. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I pretty much, the main thing that I wanted to get out there is the fact that this is
Why her hair remind me of some ramen noodles? I was just thinking about some good top ramen.
learned behavior. This was something that she already had
No shade, no shade.
up her sleeve as a emergency plan if she didn't get anything in the divorce, or if things didn't go right for her to move to the next household until she found the next person or whatever. I've also seen on there that she was
Natasha said she still got groupies all over the world from her time in the Navy. Man, I'm talking about people that still remember you. You know you a good person, you a good woman, or a good man. If it's people from years ago that still be, man, I still got people hit me up. I'm talking about people from high school, people like from Job Corps in 2000. Like, what you been doing, Katie? What you doing?
saying that she don't trust men anymore but I'm pretty sure that you're still on the dating sites and all that other stuff trying to find your next victim because you really don't have no money coming in right now. All your credit cards is cut off. You know,
Now that's the bad part about it. After you leave a relationship, when your money goes completely off, you have no money after you walk away from a marriage or a relationship, you have to evaluate your life. Because I look at it like, I know that men probably used to come up, just besides paying the bills and this and that, I'm pretty sure this man has given her money. Just here, just go do something nice for yourself. She probably spent that money just as fast as she got it. And that's a shame. You walk away from that situation with nothing. Girl, you didn't have a stash. You didn't have a bank account he didn't know about. You didn't have a chime card, a net spin, or nothing you could upload nothing on. You just walked away with nothing. That shows and that kind of stuff show you how dumb a lot of women are.
only money that you have is from, I guess, the GoFundMe that she put together.
Mhm.
But
Do you
I'm not.
And they haven't even released the funds on the GoFundMe yet.
Go ahead.
Oh, do you know why your uncle had to put in? Well, he was attempting. It seems like he was attempting to file like domestic charges or something against her, but I don't think the courts accepted it in a way. Why was he
Yes.
doing that? What was the situation about that when he was trying to file those domestic charges against her?
She was okay. He said that she had came to where he was, trying to demand him to give her money because she was saying that her and the kids hadn't eaten and all that other stuff. And so she ended up getting violent with him, trying to put hands on him. She hit him about 4 or 5 times, and she was just going belligerent to the point where he tried to press charges on her because he was like, it's not fair that everything that I do, yeah, you know, they can take the charges, but when it comes to her,
Yeah.
no, you know, it's always something. It's always a hiccup. So when he went down there, they told him that he didn't have any marks or anything like that to prove that she had hit him. So he couldn't press charges.
Okay, and then
They wouldn't let him.
the very next day, that's when she went to go file these charges about him, um, basically trying to violate the baby. So basically, it seems like it's vindictive.
So once she found out about the divorce, that's when she pretty much went for the jugular. Like she was just like hands.
Oh, so just to sum this up, she's basically saying that the husband was tired of her not keeping the house together, tired of her not taking care of the kids the way she was supposed to. He was tired of her spending all this money, sick of her oldest son, because they say he was a big problem, and he decided to file for divorce. So that's what she's saying.
Down.
Interesting.
I'm going for what I know. And my uncle, he went for he was already asking her for a divorce before, but like I said, once my grandmother had came forth and told him what the baby had said about, you know, her brother touching her, my uncle went off the rails to the point where he was like, okay, I'm really done now. Like I don't.
Oh wow! So the little girl told his grandmother. The little girl told her grandmother, which is the husband mom, that it was her brother that touched her. So I don't know. Do you guys think? Do you guys think that perhaps after ISIS got the information that the little girl said the oldest brother did it, and the husband went and was like, "Look, I'm getting a divorce. I'm sick of this drama. I'm sick of your bad son. Your son is a menace." Do you think that's what made ISIS try to switch the story up to get the heat off of her son, perhaps? I don't know. But looking at some of the facts about the little boy, that middle boy daddy is trying to get custody because the little boy has, they say, allegedly done some stuff to him. I don't know. I don't know. But everything is unfolding about this. This is like some as the world turns, as YouTube turns type of stuff.
I don't want no parts of this. I want my kids and all of that. And for her to save her kids and to save everything that she had going on, she decided to try to make him look like the villain.
So when you said in the initial video when you first came out and told the story, you said he was trying to get the baby help. So he was trying to get not the baby, but he was trying to get probably the baby as well. But he was trying to get the son help because he already had a history of May being mentally challenged. But I can just equate that for you.
It's something going on with that oldest son. And I'm gonna say this real quick and play. But I think it's something going on with that older son because when Hardly Initiated was talking about the fight the flesh bracelets, she said, I need to get that for my son. That was the first thing she said. And it just got me thinking, what is it about your son? Why does he need to fight the flesh bracelet at the age of 10? Not saying there's anything wrong with a person wearing it, but I don't know. It's just something that stood out to me.
And neglecting your goddamn kids and not raising them. You feel me?
Yes.
So this is when did you feel like that? Like she went in that spiraling mode to try to basically protect her son, or she like what was it like? Because if you neglecting your son, are you really trying to protect them, or is it the fact that you don't? I don't know. It's mind blowing to even think.
It's right now. Yeah, right now she's in crisis mode. Like everything is backfiring on her. Everything that she thought that she was doing is coming to a halt because now her second son's dad is trying to get custody of him because this is not the first time that he's heard about his son being touched by her older son. So all of the dads.
Okay.
No, and then her oldest son's dad doesn't even want.
And see, that's what I was talking about. Her other son father is trying to get custody. And there has to be something going on with this lady. I don't know the exact details, but man,
want nothing to do with her. So she has a history.
So all of that, it seems like all of the dads are coming together trying to get their goddamn kids from this woman.
Because she doesn't really
like they trying to get their kids. Yeah.
It's not she's not this mother that she claims that she is. It's been plenty of times where I've known my grandmother went up there to the house just to clean the house because my uncle was overwhelmed with taking care of all the kids and trying to make sure that the house is clean when his wife is sitting right there just laid in there either doing her vlogs or out shopping or whatever. The reason why her credit cards was taken or the reason
I'm sorry, but Isis doesn't sound like she was a good wife. If all of this is true, what the niece is saying, just taking an accountability of her story, and if it is true, from the sound of this, Isis does not sound like she was a good mom, and she don't sound like she was a good wife. And I just find it crazy that those are some of the women who walk around saying, I am a wife, I'm not a girlfriend. Some of y'all be the worst wives. And then it's crazy that you can't even find two good people who mind on the same path to always meet up. It's like a good man got to meet a BS woman, or the BS woman. I mean, the BS man. He gets the good woman. I mean, that's crazy. She don't sound like she was a good wife at all. But that's just what I'm going off on hearing the side of the niece story. That's from going off of this story. She don't sound like she was a good wife. A man who's at work all day, working hard to keep the roof over the head and provide for his family, his kids, his wife, and he got to come home, still get the kids ready for bed. He got to come home to a dirty house. That ain't no good woman.
Why she feel like he was controlling with the money was because he gave her a credit card and she spent up $500 off of that credit card within an hour.
So she tried to flip the story as if he was holding out on her. He was just trying to make them suffer and all this. But really, you need to be cut off because you've been taking advantage and you not.
She's been taking advantage and she's irresponsible. And yes, Natasha, the grandmother, should have went to the police. She should have went to the police and filed a report and made sure she called the DHS. It's two things that grandmother should have did. First off, file a police report, and second off, call DHS. Go down to DHS with the police report. So I'm not saying what she's saying is not true, but I do know in our community, a lot of things are swept under the rug. Like the niece was saying, when she had came out and blasted ISIS like the first time, she actually said that her grandmother was changing the little girl diaper, and the little girl said that the brother did. So I'm feeling like if this brother did do it, when ISIS was changing her diaper, she could have told her, my big brother did it. And ISIS was probably thinking, man, my husband about to divorce me. My daughter is telling me this stuff about my oldest son. Oh no, I gotta fix this. I gotta do something. What can I do? She started scrambling, got to crying, and went live on YouTube. That's just a scenario that I'm thinking of. I'm not saying it actually happened. But to be honest, I really do feel like something happened to this little girl. I'm not for sure who did it, but something did happen.
Being the mother or the wife that you needed to be to this man. So when this man trying to get the fucker from around you, now it's an issue. You want to get the police involved. You trying to get, you know what I'm saying? You trying to put the toughest case on him that is hard to beat, especially when you're a man, so you can gain custody of your children. But your other baby father is trying to gain custody of the child too. Now you get in contact with him, man. Everybody see when somebody doing wrong, put that shit out in the forefront. Put it out in the forefront. I'm trying to get in contact with the other baby daddy as well. And the uncle, he probably never want to speak on this until he have custody of his kids. But if he ever
he said that he don't want to interrupt anything that he got going on in the legal system right now. Like he really wants to get on here and tell his side of the story because now.
And see, do you see the difference between those men and the difference between the woman in the situation? Those men can sit back and have enough respect for their children, for the privacy of this case, for the privacy of that child, to sit and wait until I have custody before I hit the internet. Why ISIS couldn't have that same discernment? Why she couldn't make those same decisions to wait until all of this custody stuff is over? Wait until you're healed. Wait until you can actually come up and tell us how you got through this situation, instead of coming all broken up in pieces, and you trying to come to the internet. You making it harder for yourself.
Now that he knows from us sending him all of the information that's been out there so that he can be aware, like he is burning him up in the inside to know that she's out there making him look this bad. And people are really out there, like really sending death threats and all of this stuff. So, and some of the vloggers or some of the people have actually found his information and tried to reach out. So she's really destroying this man's life just because of the fact that you won't be the woman that you need to be and get out there and do your own stuff and not try to piggyback off of every man that you get.
And I understand where she's coming from, because I feel like for ISIS to sit up and say, oh, anybody telling me to get off the internet, you need to cut me a check. Honey, get up off your butt and go and get a job. You talking about cut you a check. Oh, I only got $100 from YouTube. When I left him, I was struggling. Girl, get up and go and get a job. You're a pretty face. I'm pretty sure you can find somebody desk to sit behind. Go and get you a job. You got to support you and support your kids, and stop trying to run up after a man. You trying to do everything These women like this want to do everything but get up and get a job. Y'all want to go and watch all the content you can watch to try to dig in a man's pockets, to try to be that little kept pillow princess. Get off your butt and go and get a job. That's why I'm glad I'm regular. You can call me a regular 4, 5, 6 or whatever you want to call me on the scale. But one thing about me, baby, Katie gonna get up and work. Katie gonna get up and grind. Like, I don't expect nothing from nobody. Even if I was to go and get married next month, honey, I'm still gonna keep my job. And I'm still gonna work my 38 hours a week, 5 days a week. Yep, I sure am. Because at the end of the day, I'm not finna get up and uproot my life and be out here the struggle trying to figure out, oh, what I'm gonna do. I ain't got no money. Oh, my car, my house, everything in his name. Oh, I only got a couple of months to stay in the house. What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Well, who can I lean on? Who can I run to? Sounding like Escape. Who can I run to? Who can I run to when I need these bills paid? I'm sorry. Y'all want to be kept so bad. Y'all willing to go through all of that? Get up and go to work.
Like, it's crazy to me. So yeah, she has mental issues. Her son is definitely record that he has some mental issues. So it's like, I wish them the best and I want them to get the help that they need, but I just want her to come clean and finally say, like, this did not happen, because you're ruining a person's life for no reason, just for your own, for what you.
Oh, thank you so much, Natasha. She said you're a tall and beautiful. You're a 10 on my scale. Oh, thank you so much. And shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. And yes, Tasha, I seen Tasha said Isis also said that she made only $100 from YouTube. Why you didn't get up and get a job a long time ago? Thank you, Natasha. And that's crazy. You know what? Because before all of this stuff went on, before all this stuff went on with the husband and how she was just sitting up doing commentary on being a trophy wife, Isis had like, I think 20 some thousand subscribers. You guys, I only have 2,000 subscribers and I bring in about 125, 150 every other month. So you mean to tell me Isis was only getting $100? I can't really just say I completely believe that, y'all. Looking at the fact of looking at my views and looking at her page before she even blew up from this whole story, she had 20 some thousand subscribers. You mean to tell me I have 2,000 and Isis bringing in the same amount of YouTube money that I'm bringing in? Because you know, $100 is the threshold. You got to make at least 100 in order to get paid out. So I'm thinking, it ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's how I know she didn't care about them kids like that. All that's letting every man meet your kids is very weird. Thank you, G baby. That's the same thing I said yesterday. By the time her oldest son was 5 years old, there was already 3 or 4 different men that they had stayed with, as far as her boyfriends and stuff. 3 to 4 different men by the time your kid is 5. That's a lot of men to me, but that have met your kid. I've been out here in Las Vegas for 2.5 years now. I got 2 sons, 16 and 21 now. They only met one guy. And that was the one guy who I was in a relationship with, living with. They met one guy. Even back in Arkansas, like, my kids didn't meet. Man, the guys that I was dealing with, we were just like hanging out, kicking. My kids didn't meet them guys. Are you serious? And these are boys. I don't know why some women feel like, oh, I got boys, it's cool. No, it's not cool, baby. Even Shira 7 works. She is live trying to sell something every day. Yes, Shira 7 is a hustler. I see her moving. Shira is a hustler. And that's the thing about this trophy wife, this Isis, honey. You lazy. You lazy. You too lazy. That's why you in. And let me tell you guys this: after this divorce and all this stuff pass over, she gonna be in another relationship. You already heard her in the interview saying, "Oh, 10 more years, I'm gonna have another baby." Girl, you shouldn't be thinking about having no baby. Get up off your butt and go and get you a job. You have 5 kids depending on you. You got 5 kids depending on you. You got the rest of my plate. So I'm just saying, girl, get up off your butt. That's these women's problem. They want to sit around and try to be a kept pillow princess. Bring me a piece of that plate. And you trying to be a pillow princess and stuff. Girl, get up off your butt. You got 5 kids. Ain't no way.
She too far in. She too far gone. She can't come out and say that. She can't come out and say that, hey, this was all a lie. I did this for what? Like, you did this for full cut. Like, what are you doing this for? You understand me? Like, I don't understand. And people can see through it, man. I'm not, if I seen any English of your uncle being what she's saying, I would be making this video about your goddamn uncle. But none of this shit adds up. It don't add up. When I looked at the documentation, I'm like, well, he tried to file out and get 3 charges competed. It's like he went to 3 different counties or some shit. Drove to 3 different.
And then this the thing too. And this something about the story that didn't sit right with me. And I don't know if it was just me, but this is the deal when it came to me. When I heard that he, right after she didn't win up on the platform and made these allegations about him, when I heard he immediately went and tried to file for custody for his kids, and I was thinking, man, would a guilty man do this? He actually trying to file custody for the kids that he allegedly did this to? That didn't sit right with me. Cause that made me feel like, oh, I didn't do this. Let me go to the court and let me defend myself. If you guys know anything, especially when it comes to a black man and it comes to anybody saying something that he did in court, if it's true, that man is gonna be running. Nobody will probably even be able to find him. But he's still over visiting the kids. He still has visitation. He filed courts to get custody. I don't know. It's deep. It's this story going down a rabbit hole. I'm just starting to shift and think. And like I said, I believe something happened to the little girl, but I don't know if it's the whole story of what ISIS is saying is factual. I don't know.
Spot. It seemed like he went to 3 different counties and went to 3 different spots to try to get this DV on this woman. Then the next day, she was able effortlessly to get charges on him or a protective order on him that they canceled. But she's still going around saying like he's on a protective order. No, he can see his kids. You're just not allowing
Thank you,
him to see his kids.
Natasha, don't you know I am 43 and I can count on one hand how many men, my mom, my uncles, like guys that I brought to the Thanksgiving dinner, man, I can count on one hand and I could probably say 3 or 4 in 43 years that they have met. Now, if I'm not going to bring you to my mom's house, my grandma's house, I'm sure not going to bring you around my kids. Like, just how freely she is when it comes to jumping in these relationships. I be asking women who do this, and don't get me wrong, I know some women are just hopeless romantic. They just feel like they're a wife and not a girlfriend. Okay. But for you to just meet these men and like, oh, this is my husband. Let me go buy the ring. I'm giving up my apartment. I'm moving. Man, that's scary to me. I'm sorry. I be scared when I see stuff like that. Because I'm like, man, you don't know. You don't know these men. Let's see. It says ISIS probably got both the dudes from the podcast simping. Girl, you know she got them dudes number. You know they you gonna hear in about a year. Oh, me and ISIS are working out a relationship. I would be a stepdaddy to all her kids. He said, I'll be them babies, pappies, all of them, even the newborn baby that you just had. Ain't no guilty man doing all that. Thank you, G baby. That's the same thing I said when it comes to a guilty man, especially a black man. A guilty man. You think he gonna be going down to court? I am filing for custody of the kids she said I violated. I'm filing custody. And I'm still going to visit my babies every week. I don't see a guilty man doing all that unless this guy is just a crazy, psycho, narcissistic, something. I don't know how they feel comfortable doing that. Thank you. I don't know how they feel comfortable either. Y'all be out here meeting these guys. Oh, I'm moving in. I'm getting married. I'm like, what? And then people looking at me, girl, why you ain't out here getting married to these men? I don't know these niggas. What you mean? I'm looking at you crazy because you doing it. You looking at me crazy because I'm not doing what you doing.
Like he trying to
Right.
be a father. He gonna get full custody of them kids. And for anybody that might say why he ain't came up and speak up, he's not internet savvy. He's not the tech savvy. He's every man don't got a guy. He fight
He's not a clout chaser. To sum it up, he ain't no clout chaser. He not clout chasing off his kids.
through court. When he get his fucking kids, and then he can speak his truth and tell his goddamn story. But it's so easy
Yes.
to believe a pretty woman. She a pretty woman.
That's
It's easy to
facts.
believe a pretty
And
woman
she
that know how to
is.
fucking cry on camera.
Facts. Facts. She's a beautiful, pretty woman. It's so easy to believe her. Just like when we was doing the commentary on that man, I think it was the Jeremy Hill show when Jeremy Hill was talking about the ISIS situation. He's like, "Oh, she's so pretty. I hate to see her going through this." But when that heavy set dark skinned girl was on there, but that girl was cute though. She was a little chubby, but she was real cute in the face. He was talking about, shoot, she going through this. This her fault. This her fault. She gonna be selling stuff. He didn't say nothing about ISIS selling stuff, but ISIS is the one sitting up here crying about she can't get a GoFundMe. He didn't say ISIS gonna be out here selling stuff. So yes, a beautiful face can be very manipulating. Real talk. Real talk. And then throughout the whole interview, she was like forcing herself to sound like she was crying.
Right. Because when I seen her the first time, I was like, she kind of looked like a little Cardi B, remix
Yeah.
type thing. But
Yep, she sure do look like a remix of Cardi B, like a pretty Cardi B.
I'm like,
She did.
hey, I don't like, and I didn't want to come on so hard when I did come on, but I was furious because of the fact that she was out there just spewing all of these lies and then watching the people sit over here and attack somebody that's very close to me and is almost like a second dad in my life. Like I would never want to be just sit back and let that happen, especially when I know I got free range to get on here and say how I feel just like everybody else do.
Is anything else do you want to say before we wrap it up? I know you might have some things to do. I know you be busy and booked. I ain't gonna put out no location, but find her and do her thing when all this blow over, y'all can go get right by her. We're gonna make sure y'all
Oh
get
yeah,
contacts and
come see
everything.
me for Share Creations for sure.
Okay, y'all make sure y'all hit her up at Portia Creations. Okay.
No, I pretty much I wanted to come back on here a little bit more humble than I did last time. Okay. Because a lot of people were saying that I was very snappy and all of that other stuff. But I'm not trying to just come on here and just spit stuff for my health. I'm not trying to come on here and just tell lies for no reason. That's not me. That's not my character. And anybody that knows me knows that that is not something that I do. However, I am a person that rides for my family.
And that is so true, Tasha. You got to be careful about who you bring around your kids because over those years, just think about the women who jump in and out of relationships. Her kids are exposed to all of that. Her kids are exposed to all the spirits of those strange people. Just out of your desperation for wanting to be in a relationship, you're wanting to be in a marriage and this and that. You got to think about the kids.
No matter what, I am a person that sticks up for any kids whether it's mine or a relative or whatever. I do not want anybody out there thinking that these kids are being harmed by someone who really loves them and he really adores his kids. He's been there since day one, and it's killing him right now, the fact that y'all think that he would do anything malicious like this to his own children. That's not the kind of guy he is. So I just wanted to just bring awareness to everybody, like letting them in a little bit more on the situation. If Isis was the woman that I felt like she should be, then I would never have to report on her. But any woman that comes on here to exploit your kids for money or for likes and views and all of that is not a woman that I want to be around, or I would even trust around any kids.
Thank you. Thank you. And she made her stance very clear at the end of that video. After that therapist gave her that good advice and told her she needs to get off the internet. And when she said, "Oh, cut me a check if you telling me to get off the internet," that should have told you everything that ICE is standing on. It's not about the betterment or putting this story out to help other people. It ain't about none of that. It's about the money. Why she talking about cut me a check? Oh, and oh my God, and GoFundMe hasn't issued my money because people are being weird. They're being weird. Girl, you are the weird one.
Honestly. And a woman that doesn't stand on her own is not a woman that I feel like I can follow. So just be mindful, everyone.
Man, appreciate you for tapping in with me, man. We're gonna get this out. We're gonna follow it, and hopefully your uncle can get full custody in the I guess boyfriend or baby father, especially if it's deserved and they moving righteous, they moving with standards. And man, I appreciate you for coming through.
All right, so you guys make sure you hit up House of Hypocrites. That's the name of the show. And I'm most definitely going to drop the full interview below if you guys just want to watch it, yourselves and watch everything all the way through without my commentary. But I really appreciate you all coming over to listen to my commentary and my opinion on this situation. And I really feel what the niece is saying. I wouldn't want to follow anyone who cannot stand on their own. Like I said, ISIS, it's time for you to get up, get you a job, stop chasing these men around, and stop bringing all these strange men around your children. You have 5 children now that you're responsible for, and calling them sacrificial lambs. Girl, you got to go and get you some help. You got to go and get you some help, ISIS, because this situation, and like I said, I haven't been there. I don't know exactly what has happened. I don't know who did what, but I do believe that something happened to her daughters. And you know what? The rabbit hole is going so deep. The truth is going to come out very soon. I thank y'all for tuning in, and I am signing out. Katie Talk 101. I'm off work tomorrow, so I will be back tomorrow. You guys make sure you hit that like, hit that notification bell, and for the replay gang, please make sure you share, support your girl, and hit that thumbs up. And I'll be back soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the chat room, Natasha, G Baby, Ty, everybody watching in the bushes. Peace.